All right, whoever's got a phone on, turn it on. I know that's so important to you, Anthony.
It's not important, Mark.
20 minutes, you'll survive.
No problem at all. Glad to do it.
Kevin Cassie's on the phone.
Okay, at this point in time, we'll go to item number 1, is a waiver of bid for the new office trailer at the transfer station.
Just for the record, one person.
Yes, I know that. The attendant will pick up on that. Okay, John, item number 1.
Move for the recommendation of the finance director to waive the bidding process for the purchase of a new office trailer and building materials at the transfer station, and further add to the capital improvement plan with funding in the amount of $8,845 to come from those.
Second. Motion is made and seconded. Just for by way of background, the waiver of bid is because I've been trying to get this trailer replaced for about 1.5 years. We went out to bid twice on this, and I was hoping that the dates would have been supplied to you, that we did go out to bid. I asked for that. And so, Fran, I want you to talk to Mike Canios about, why we don't have that information, but I want it supplied to the board so that they know that we did go out to bid and we got no bidders. And then the narrative that they put in here is that they said that it was hit by some type of a truck.
You will.
And that's not the reason that we're replacing it. We're replacing it because it's probably 30 years old and it's outdated and out of compliance with OSHA standards. And so this is the first thing that meets the public eye. We have public employees that work in it. It's kind of like an office for them. We have a computer and communication equipment stored in there, and we need a better facility there. So it has nothing to do with the fact that it was hit. And I don't know why for the life of me that they put that there. So Fran, I want you to convey my sentiments to Mike Canios about this. Because I had a lengthy conversation about what the reason that we're asking for the waiver. And it wasn't really articulated here.
It doesn't clearly state what they're replacing it with. It says trailer, but the building that's described here looks more like a building versus a trailer.
Well, it's not a trailer. It is a building.
Oh, it is.
It's a shed type building.
I've been there many times inside the trailer and it really needs to be replaced. There's no doubt about it.
Funny world.
Okay, so I'm sorry, I stand corrected. If you look on the bid summary,
That's there.
it 42-18 and R 42-18, it was rebid twice, and there were no bidders. Okay, so I'm glad that this is here because it's important for you to understand that. Because with this pandemic and issues with supply chain, we've asked for a lot of waivers in the last 1.5 years. Okay, any other questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
This is something we've been doing for the last 3 or 4 years, that we've taken this capital improvements and projects out of their budget. It's unfortunate that, at budget time, that things like this don't get talked about, how much money we actually give to this Board of Education. And, people want to talk about, per pupil expenditures, things like this oftentimes don't get included in the formula. And it looks like that, oh, Shelton doesn't spend enough money on their kids. And I have always disagreed with that. And I think that, it's important for us to continue to talk about this, because this is the first of 3 funding requests that we're going to be giving them outside of their budget tonight. Well, not tonight, but in the course of between now and when school starts. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Is the funding for the, we just did that. We're going, I'm sorry, item number 5, funding for Chromebooks for Shelton High School Public Schools.
Move to add the purchase of Chromebooks for the Shelton Public School System to the capital improvement plan with funding in the amount of $344,700 to come from ROSA.
Second.
Motion is made and seconded, again, to belabor the point, because it needs to be belabored. Tonight is a total of about $570,000 in additional money outside of the Board of Education's budget. That's going to benefit the school system. And we've done this, again, I asked for a 5-year history of Chromebooks that we have paid for outside of their budget. I gotta believe that it's well over $1 million. And I'm gonna ask Teresa to forward that history to you so that you have it and you can remind parents about what you do in addition to giving the board that.
What we do outside the spotlight. This, look, the audience, one person in the audience. They're not here to listen to what we're doing. But we'll remind them.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye. Cameras aren't running, John.
Anything opposed?
Aye.
Opposed?
Sorry, that was just a late eye due to online issues.
Okay. I just want to bring up one other point. In addition to what we've just given the Board of Ed, we're also going to be funding $250,000 for the pay to play.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so now we're up to 800,000 outside of their budget appropriation. And I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna email a copy of this, the meeting that we put on our city website to everybody who was here in the audience that night.
Especially on the Board of Education.
That would be a good point.
I hope that the people that are on Facebook and everything else correct what they've done online, misrepresenting what's going on.
Well, they're not interested in doing that. That doesn't suit their goal. They know exactly what they're doing. They're just, this is an election year and they're just playing that game. Again, nothing we haven't seen before.
And let's not forget that the only board members that voted for the full budget for the Board of Education were the Republicans. The Democrat
were a couple.
board member voted against it.
Two Democrats.
Two Democrats. No, I'm talking about our
Talking about
board,
us.
Board of Alderman. We all voted for it.
Right.
There was just one voted against it.
That's correct.
Okay, and well, on the side of the Board of Education, yes, two board members from the Democrats did not vote for doing the budget. They had some reason that they couldn't understand that we were moving forward.
Right.
Item number 6 is funding for HVAC replacement at Plum Memorial Library.
Move to appropriate an additional amount of $10,000 for the heating, ventilation, air conditioning unit replacement at Plum Memorial Library, with funding to come from automatic bonding pursuant to 7.16 of the city charter.
So, second.
Motion is made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 7 is the interest forgiveness for real estate tax.
Move to approve the forgiveness of interest on real estate tax for 60 Woodland Park in an amount of $13,347.82 through June 30th, 2023.
Second.
Motion is made and seconded. Any discussion?
Now, why is the interest being forgiven? Somebody,
Can you hear me on this microphone?
Yeah, go ahead.
According to statute, Connecticut General Statute 12-124, a municipality can forgive interest on, for the poor and insolvent, and this is an insolvent estate.
You heard that? It's an insolvent, it's an insolvent estate, and under state law, you're allowed to do it. So insolvent means that you're not gonna collect it anyways.
Right.
oh, okay.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
I think we did something similar to this a while back, earlier last year. I think we've used this technique before. Remember the guy who came in?
Okay, item number 8 is the open.gov purchasing module.
Move to approve the agreement between OpenGov.inc. and the city of Shelburne for cloud-based procurement software services in an amount of $23,454.37, with funding to come from contingency general account. Further, authorize Mayor Mark Ialetti to execute any and all documents necessary to effectuate same.
Second. Motion is made and seconded. Ray, would you give the board a quick version of what this modular is gonna do?
Sure, certainly. First of all, I want to thank you. About a year ago, you approved funding for the OpenGov project for electronic permitting. I'm happy to report that next Thursday, we're going to be going live with that. And I'd like to publicly thank our staff in the engineering department, public work, or the building department, planning and zoning, all of those people, those folks, staff in there worked very, very hard to get this online. So we're looking forward to that. Now we're moving to the next step, which is procurement, which is somewhat of a challenge. And we're hopeful that this program, we know this program, will streamline our purchasing system by allowing us to electronically post our RFPs, RFQs, our bids, be able to track all our bids throughout the system, And more importantly, to keep reports for the state and federal government, which are very important in the, when you receive money from the state and federal government for grants. So this does it all. We have a consultant on staff that's going to help us out, who has experience in this system. So we're learning. It won't take us a year to get online with this one to the land use board. So, and I want to thank Kelly Pisano for helping to negotiate over the last few months with OpenGov to get the price down. So the city's actually saving $17,000 initially and overall about $33,000 on this program.
Anybody have any questions?
Will this be, there'll be a fee every year now, or is this the?
Yeah, it's a fee going forward for the module, yes, for the programming, yeah.
That'll be approximately?
Well, it's in the contract. I think the first 3 years it goes up. I think it's in your packet, but year one is 23,454, then it goes to 24,000 and then 25,000.
Thank you.
Yeah, but this hopefully should eliminate some man hours that we have had in purchasing since the beginning of time, and you know, become very costly to have employees. So hopefully this is one of those technological programs that's going to help save some money.
And also you can find information much quicker, everything.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. You'll be able to track all of your bids throughout the entire process. Nothing gets lost in the system. It's easy for the users to use. It's easy for the bidders to look at. And it's going to attract more, I think, more bidders throughout the system. If they have it, they can sit there in their office and submit the bids that way.
They can submit a bid and it'll be sent privately until you open them.
Until you open them up, right?
So they'll be assured that no one can get at it and
Yeah, there'll be a hard
bid on to someone else.
Yeah, there'll be a hard cutoff, so people can't come in and say, well, I hand delivered it at 5:01 when it should have been 5 o'clock. Now it's electronically posted and you have it right there in the record. So if they're late, they're late.
And they can't blame anyone.
Right. Yeah. For themselves. Sure.
Okay, anybody have any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you for staying and helping us.
Number 9 is the approval of the admin clerical union contract. Local 1303-238.
Move to approve the administrative clerical union contract with the city of Shelton as negotiated and ratified by union members of local 1303-238, council board, AFSCME, AFL-CIO, what a name. Further authorize me or Martin to sign any and all the necessary documents. So moved.
Second.
Motion is made and seconded. I'm not sure if there's much discussion required here. I mean, the big thing is it's a 3-year contract with a 2% increase for 3 years in a row, which is pretty favorable for the city. I do want to note that there are some people in this bargaining unit that only make $47,000 a year, and you know, in an attempt to try to get them to a better place financially, that's why we're doing this.
Mr. Chairman, the line in section 1 about if the increase in premium costs in any 1 year exceed 8.5%, the employee shall pay it through payroll deductions. Is that based on what the insurance actually charged us in the previous year, or how much we put in the budget for next year?
Well, if you read the contract, it speaks to what our insurance cost was for the entire year, not what is budgeted.
Okay, so since last year's going over, we'd have to go over again for that to kick in on the employees.
That's correct.
Okay, thank you very much.
The reason that number was selected because in the first 29 years, we have never even come close to that in health insurance cost. And it's the point that I tried to make in the auditorium the night of the budget meeting. When people at the Board of Ed think that every year is the same and you spend 10 million 1 year, you're automatically going to spend it next year. And that is not the case. And so that's why, you know, the 8.5 number was selected, because I never thought we would get there. Of course, I never thought that we would have a pandemic either. And that's had a lot to do with driving the cost, supply chains, and inflation. Plus a change of leadership in Washington. I might add.
Mayor, just before the vote is taken, I just want to make a note for the record that there's a typo in the section Article 15, under the July 1, 2025, 2%, it says except classification levels A through H, it should be A through G. I just
Okay,
want that correction note for the record.
all right, anybody have any questions? The last point that I want to make is that all of these brain surgeons on Facebook that want to talk about union busting and the fact that why the Teamsters don't have a contract is really because they are irrational and they are not fair, and they have created this whole scenario. We haven't gone through this with any other union in like 32 years, except for now. So tell me what's different. It's the leadership at the union. I don't have any problem saying that publicly. And that point needs to be said. So with that, all those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, that concludes our agenda. I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
Motion for adjournment.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Everybody have a nice 4th of July and enjoy the show tomorrow night.
That's a big one. Yes.
I don't know. I know.